Yo, what up? I just wanted to come on here and quickly denounce some misconceptions regarding me and the subliminals that I've heard out in the airwaves. I guess like since yesterday or whatever, certain details, with all these accusations that come to me, take for instance, the accusation that somebody put out about evidence. This nigga, I didn't even know he exists in life. You know what I'm saying? That just goes to show you, man, like, he took the time to view the content, right? And then he put out some subliminal disses, but he wasn't direct with it. He could have said my name. That shows a lot of fear. You know what I'm saying? And I'm a nigga that's just trying to help. This cat shows 3 cop cars coming out. And the last time for you guys, what I didn't say was the fact that I have video evidence. Niggas forget of a portal. Okay? And the fact of the matter is, I did not reason with anyone. I just respect secrets. For the most part, the ones that I'm aware of, I respect it. I don't really care. You understand? And that's just all it is. That's all it is. You know, the type of stuff that I talk about on my content as far as that, yo, like, it's breaking the internet. Real talk. You know what I'm saying? And people could judge all they want to. But another thing that you should focus on is in terms of regarding demons. Okay? That's very intricate. Because if it's anything that is unperceivable to the human eye, then people automatically assume that that entity is a demon. That's incorrect. All right? If y'all came across an angel, y'all would say it was a demon quickly. Because anything you don't understand, you fear. It goes with that trope. All right? Demons have a certain frequency. Creatures have a certain frequency. The fact of the matter is I've been in it to understand what I'm doing. It was a gift that's given to me, communication. So you could believe what you want to believe, but regarding my content, it's the truth out there. The respect, whether I'm respected or not, is irrelevant. As far as us out here, it's very prominent that I speak the truth, so you know I'm walking in the spirit. The reason I can perceive these things is because I've grown in the spirit. And it correlates with my gift, but those are not demons. When you talk about Dracos, Greys, Mantids, what have you, they vibrate at a higher frequency. You cannot perceive them. Okay? That's just the truth. And the fact of the matter is that there are other beings, some on earth and some are not on earth. Okay? It just so happens that I'm a communicator. I happen to be able to hear, I understand where that is coming from and what that frequency is. For the rest of you guys, I would advise that you not do that. You want to know why? Because you don't know what you're doing. Okay? I have a connection with the Heavenly Father, and through that connection, I understand my gifts. I already went through the hazy areas and things like that, as far as like, you know, it's just like a whisperer or somebody who is talking to spirits, and the fact of the matter is it's not. But let's talk about something deeper. Let's talk about how these accusations rise up, and each time I have something new to present to the table, and my information stay fresh like it's Subway, and the zombies come out. That was the theme song of the intro yesterday. I'm quick, and sometimes people can't keep up. They get blessed and loaded with information, and then they leave, and then they forget. And the first sign of an accusation or anything like that, they start to trip on it. And then when they trip on it, I listen to their content, and I'm kind of like, what are you talking about? Right? So, if you want to take it from your perspective, I guess I was talking to demons. But just know that you don't really know what you're talking about as far as that, right? You don't. You know, people want to post up videos of Dracos. One sign of ignorance is people are looking for extraterrestrials in space. That's that's one, you know what I'm saying? That's one situation. I mean, there are extraterrestrials in space, but quite frankly, no one mentioning the extraterrestrials being around you is quite intricate. That is quite intricate. And that's part of the problem in filming evidence, isn't it? Not understanding the circumstances. Like I said, the film Devil in a Blue Dress. Denzel says, if you're going to be involved in a problem, make sure you're mixed in all the way to the top. All right? My hearing is crazy, you guys. I can hear long distances, and that's about as much as I'm going to be able to point out, because I don't really understand completely how this scenario works. Then people go into, well, he must be deceived. Well, just compare my evidence and the things I talk about with what you have, and then you could have a glass of water and be quiet. That's just the truth. I don't have nothing to prove. Niggas got to catch up. It's a difference. You feel me? If that's how we're gonna play it, you know, on one level, people, you know what I'm saying, get preoccupied and emotional and start talking about levels and shit. And the fact of the matter is, people are so petty that it obscures the entire basis of the content that I put up in terms of building for growth. You know what I'm saying? They take it as some type of retort, and those are the same niggas that are emotional, right? Those are the ones that don't want people watching their channel and shit like that. But it's like, why waste the time watching my shit? That's just the truth, man. But I say this shit with peace and love. This shit is hella short. I'm out. Yeah, what up? They say that power is the offspring of money. But I disagree with that, see? Because quite frankly, power is something also that money can buy. And money is a dead thing that comes out of factory. But yet it has properties to control that which is metaphysical. And I see people spend money and they say time is money. But then again, money is time. The both aren't equal. Time is an issue that Steve Jobs couldn't find his way out of. Not with even $1 single. But people go towards money. And they think that it's power. And though it makes them weak and break their back, they spend every hour cowered in their house, meditating on how to make it. Trying to keep it real, but hella niggas be counterfeit. They act like they cool, then they be speaking subliminals. I say names when I need to. If anybody out there needs to say anything to me, don't feel bad, just post your video about it. But quite frankly, you don't hear any intelligence in anything that they say other than them being preoccupied with a man that's irrelevant. And I think that's interesting because that's a whole lot of fucking dick riding with no interest involved. Except my dick in their mouth. They ass ain't involved. Trying to talk about where I come from. These niggas spiritually dead, they be worshiping the sun. And nothing new is under the sun, so the things I point out is spiritual and knowledge can't be aware of it. You send me an assassin who's been trained all his life spiritually, he's nothing but a derelict. I could think my way out of it. Spiritual powers is real powers, and superpowers can't measure up to it. And in this game, everybody pays a little bit more. But then again, a little bit the same because they all pay the same thing. But there's a lot of nepotism, so some pay more for it. And what do you pay for bread? The things that put the shame on your faces. Many celebrities in high interesting places, but still spider webs in the corner of their mansions, no different than a shack that I live in. Still a prison and still the same, they just made it a bit fancier to disassociate a little more. sitting at my kitchen window, looking outside of the glass door, wondering about the weather, what the day has in store. I hope it's nothing unusual or out of the normal, 'cause everything's routine. Pavlov experiment, notification bell ring, salivating in the mouth. It's still the same thing. And these are the circuitries and the chains, like on a bike of a wheel, that we keep going around 'cause time moves in cycles. And in those cycles, I have grown up to found a bunch of psychos that think they're civilized, and there's nothing really civil. 'Cause I'm a black man and I'm going through this thing in America. And nobody's speaking about it, but they're the woke colony. Black Lives Matter wouldn't even be a movement without George Soros. I think that's hella interesting. People do pay money, and people do pay attention, but people pay attention to money. And then they kind of lose their vision, and the dream teeters off next, and all their hope and self-control. The machine is eating everybody. I was only looking out for a few niggas' souls. The only reason I'm alive is because my back is full of knives. There's no place for them to stab one in. Money, you pay it. And what does money seek to get? Your attention that you pay for. So therefore, your attention is worth more than your money. And people pay attention to their money. And focus on it. And it has nothing in store but a whole lot of agony. Situations will come. People out of the woodworks that you never seen before. That girl that sat behind you in kindergarten found your Facebook. So easily accessible. If there's a problem, throw $1, and I think it's detestable. They want to change our meats and make us eat vegetables. And I'm cool with being vegetarian, but the future is interesting because we'll be eating on insects in 10 years. That's what they projected. John the Baptist came eating honey and locusts. And I'm a baby bear square in 2022. I guess I'm kind of following in the path of John. But I'm younger, Winnie the Pooh type shit. What happens to the mind when it focuses its drive on paying attention to currency? And currency currently has seemed to be hurting. Just take a look at the stock market. And in all these things, people will say that it's my fault, but never check their own narcissism. How could it be my fault? Nobody anymore asks any questions. That's the mind control of the hive that they're living in. It's a system with schisms. People pay attention to everything irrelevant. Even who you're speaking to do something malicious. Half the population at least just seeks to manipulate. People don't even feel comfortable asking the questions that they typically asked back in the 90s. Well, where do you live? What school do you go to? What type of work do you do at your business? And we all do it. We dip and dodge around these questions because it's not pertinent to them, but then they go and put it on the internet with terms and agreements. We going back to the slave times where we didn't know how to read, and now we have the luxury and we don't do it. Man, that's a tight agenda. So you could pay attention to your money. And those who work after that money are never satisfied by that money. Look at the rich people's faces. They're all downcast. There's nothing wrong with having money, but to have a love for it is interesting. Money is made out of cotton that slaves picked. People spend it and take joy in saying that they're wealthy. But on the inside, they're empty. Just bones in a closet. And when they speak at me, whether subliminal, it's interesting because I can see the intention also. That in what they say is not in the same spirit as I say it. You see how they say it, they are butthurt and they get critical. They take shots and they promote it without saying my name because they know I'll come and see about them. This ain't no secret. Whether I'm fake or I'm real, either way, I disagree with either. I didn't want to be here. And they're trying to use it for an opportunity to sit at the table? You can have it. I just finished eating. Throw away my bib for a napkin. I was just talking and now my talking's turning into rapping. Dealing with these asses that sometimes wear hats and saying a lot of subliminal shit that I can get with because I'm a lot faster. If it's one thing I notice that people can't get along, especially the women. They hang out in groups and cliques and have good times and are the best of friends until a guy comes along. Then they don't know each other. The conversations get different. They're at their fist and they're fighting and they're talking. How many people seen this shit? A guy doesn't even have to come along. Girls could be in a group and they act like everything's honky-dory. The minute they leave, they all talk about each other. I find that strange than a motherfucker, bro. I don't understand it. I've been here for years and I still gotta understand people more than the mysteries of the earth. And I think it's funny the interests of people who have interest in dead things like money. That's pretty intricate. That mean on the inside they're empty and the power of control is over concern. So they manipulate them to do anything. And they'll do it. Judas betrayed Christ for 30 pieces of silver. Wendy's got a new value meal. What's the difference? So, the more important things which are metaphysical, such as time, health, self-control, awareness, These things are truly powerful. Money can spend time if you sit it in a desert. That's exactly what it'll be doing. A whole lot of fucking nothing. It's not even worth anything in how we see it, but everything's backwards. People chase money instead of money being the thing that it should chase after because it's looking for worth. So therein, that which you go after defines the case of the manipulator that may be a master. Something to think about. I wish they just come out with a store on earth that sold good products. Something that I buy once and I never have to buy it after. Lifetime warranty. I've seen a few of those warranties, but I've never bought some earbuds that worked longer than 2 weeks. One of them goes out. So I have to keep working if I want to hear with both ears, and I don't want to fuck up my equilibrium though. There's different elements that come with different things, and people take their chances. Society is estranged from itself, listening to a man that they call mad, getting fed a lot of chapters, and they agree with them, but they're in the system of the hive. And that's what I explain about those who chase after money than being the thing that money would come after, because quite frankly, those who have it tend to be empty. And it's funny, right here is the consensus. Anybody that's listening, it could be 10 people in a room. Only 2 will be listening. The other 8 would have heard, but they could understand nothing if they're spiritually dead, and they could have a lot of knowledge. People go to philosophers and other things, and I'm just some random motherfucker talking about my so-called opinion that's backed by a shit ton of facts. Just look at the stats, get your remote, turn on the news, watch your favorite band, find an interview, see how they stand. The interview was great, but you could tell it was something they were going through. And you care for them. That's what it is to be humane. Because it's not the same anymore just to be human. Humanity and to be humane are 2 separate things now. And they walk like that. And they drive like that. The slightest thought that's too strong, it projects out. And the spirit within the shell will catch it. And this place is like shell with the S light out. Therefore, that will leave you in hell, and I see hells inside a lot of shells when I go out by the ocean. This place to me, I'm tilting my head to the side and it's looking kind of different. Peace and blessings be with you all. Money does not buy power. It can buy power, but it cannot truly buy true power. It gives you options to resources. That's it. I'm talking to y'all, and I'm also crying out to the Father. Man, if we keep going, these niggas is trying to own water. There's natural resources that are owned by companies. I remember when bottled water wasn't even a thing. I remember it sounded crazy to buy a bottle of water. Then we had the hoopla with all this purification shit. Now I'm changing the subject and I'm kind of getting off on a tangent, but quite frankly, when you go to the grocery store and they have like 80 different bottles of water, different water companies. The next bottle more expensive than the one before, but the contents the same, just slightly different. What does that say about our public filtration system on our water? That's the way we should be thinking, but we don't be thinking that far. Because that would be crazy to have clean water that come out of your sink that you could actually drink with. That used to be standard before, but now the shit ain't decent. I just don't get it. Any nigga could go back and reference Flint, Michigan. See, spiritually, when something plight happens in one place, it tends to happen in another place until it balances out. Look at earthquakes. So if, I don't know if Flint, Michigan got fresh water or anything like that again, but quite frankly, like, if we just left that situation like that and they're left with people delivering mass trucks of bottled water in, you guys, that place, that is going to balance, that is probably going to balance out somewhere. You know, you can't just catastrophes that deal with being humane. God is going to put a weight on your ass. Those people are being forced to live in a certain condition. That's going to come down in another place. See, what the world cares about, being self-absorbed, is what they can get. I have no idea how we exist this long together. Everybody each looking out for what they gonna get. And I used to be a lot nicer. I enjoyed being nice, even though it scared the shit out of people. But now I gotta be a little more selfish. You do one good thing for somebody and they'll take advantage of it. They'll see you as a sucker, and now we got terms like simp. And looks how it's affected the public, because nobody wants to be that. But in fact, that's what they all are, because to think upon that for so long, to come up with the term, wouldn't that make you superficial? What were you thinking about? Pretty shallow. And this is the day and age that I'm living in, kinda, because it's kind of dead.